but I do thoroughly enjoy.
There was a couple interesting trailers that came out.
There was did you see the one? It's called like Into the Woods, I think.
Yeah, I just saw that one today.
It's like all about like the grim fairy.
I thought that was kind of clever.
I enjoyed it. Like it
looks good.
Yeah, it intrigued me.
Yeah. There was one that was made by the Weta Workshop. I don't remember what it was, but it was like a robot. It's artificial intelligence. There's a couple robot ones coming out. They look pretty good.
Like a Hero Big 6 or something like
Hero,
that.
I didn't even think of that. But yeah, Hero Big 6.
I think that comes out tomorrow. So does
There's
Interstellar comes out tomorrow too.
What's Interstellar?
That's the Christopher Nolan movie with
What's that, robots?
Matthew McConaughey, and they're like going there. The planet's dying, and they're going.
He lost me at Matthew McConaughey.
It doesn't look bad, but it seems like they're trying to like remake 2001: A Space Odyssey. Like from what I got,
is that the vibe you're getting from that?
From the trailer, at least. Like that's kind of what I'm getting from it. I hope I'm wrong, because
the only vibe I got from it is Nolan just figured out he's overrated, and Matthew McConaughey. Fucking Matthew McConaughey.
I like Matthew McConaughey.
And what?
Dazed and Confused.
Was he in Dazed and Confused?
Yeah. He was the older gentleman that they would hang out with. He was like, I love high school girls. I keep getting older.
Oh, yeah.
And they stay the same age.
Yeah.
10 ways to...
What about
Lose
just
a
a
Man?
Matthew McConaughey movie, not one he'd guest starred in?
That was a Matthew McConaughey movie. Well, it was him and Kate Hudson.
It wasn't Brawled Run, did it?
10 Ways to Lose a Guy.
No, it's them and Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused?
Oh.
No, he was a bit character in that, but I did like...
Wait, which one are you talking about?
10 Ways to Lose a Guy with Kate Hudson, and it's a
that was kind of funny.
rom-com. It wasn't bad. But then like they tried following it up with like Failure to Launch, which was freaking ridiculously stupid with him and Sarah Jessica Parker. Did not like that movie.
Yeah.
I heard Lincoln Lawyer is really good,
I've heard that too.
but I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it either. I saw a little bit of it and I thought it was stupid.
I do have
fucking Matthew McConaughey.
I do have Ghosts of Girlfriend's Past.
Oh.
Yeah. Which I don't dislike as a movie. I really don't.
What do you think's better? Do you think Scrooged or Screwed is better?
Scrooge?
Screwed.
Screwed?
Yeah, with Bill Murray.
I thought it was Scrooge.
I think it's Scrooged. Scrooge. It's like a really bad play on words because it's really like everybody who fucking says it wrong.
I do like the Bill Murray one.
Scrooged. Because they're all Christmas Story.
Yeah, but I do prefer the original. Actually, to be fair, I prefer the Scrooged McDuck one. That is my favorite.
I think that's just Disney's The Christmas
I don't
Carol.
care. I enjoy it.
Because I was like,
well, they did that one. They did one with Jim Carrey.
that was really good. I like that one.
It terrified me.
Terrified you?
There are parts where it scared me.
I just really like the story of A Christmas Carol.
It is a good story.
And I remember, well, not a lot of people know everybody thinks it's Screwed or Scrooge. Because when I tell people, they're like, I was like, only like one Christmas story, and it's like, I hate Christmas. And I was like, the only one I like is A Christmas Carol. And they're like, what the fuck's A Christmas Carol? Because I think it's the one with Santa Claus. And I don't remember what that one's called.
I don't know.
I don't remember what it's called, but everybody thinks that's what that's called. And then I'm like, it's got Scrooge, and they're like, oh, just Scrooge? I'm like, no, it's not called Scrooge. And I'm like, yes, it is. You know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm like, no, it's called Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like that story. Even though I think it's bullshit.
But
narratively speaking, because I don't like stories where you force people to like something that they don't want to like, or change a person just because they don't fit into your stereotype. Like, I hate green eggs and ham. For that example, because it's like, okay, he doesn't want to fucking eat green eggs and ham. Leave him the fuck alone. Just
But then he found out he really did enjoy Green Acres.
let him figure that out on his own. He doesn't need someone forcing it. That's the thing.
Doesn't he, though?
He did, apparently.
Doesn't he?
And I hate that as a children's book. And if I ever have kids, I would not read that book to them. And if I did, I would be like, don't be this person. Don't be this other asshole.
Don't be Sam.
Yeah, don't be Sam going...
Would you like them on a boat?
Yeah.
Would you like them... Actually, I have the book around here somewhere.
Yeah, I know. You probably do. Because everybody has kids have this stupid
Yeah.
book. But it's just... It's a bad moral. It's such a bad moral. Like, yeah, I get... Experiencing new things is fun, and you should embrace experiencing new things, but don't force experiencing new things on somebody because they might not like it.
Yeah.
Let 'em
Otherwise, you just become the West Borough Baptist Church.
And that's what I think with West Baptist Church. Like, you shouldn't have funerals for soldiers. You shouldn't have them on a plane. You shouldn't have them on a boat.
You shouldn't have them on a train. You shouldn't have them in a house. You shouldn't have them with a mouse. You shouldn't
And
have
if you
them
do,
in
you
a
should
box.
protest them because they were fucking assholes. That's what I'm getting at. I hate that. Like, this is kind of the same thing with, like, A Christmas Carol. Like, he wants to be an asshole. And like, in my mindset, it should just end there with the door, like, his ghostly friend coming back and like, Scrooge, you should change your ways or you're gonna fucking get fucked over. He's like, eh.
And then, like, it pans after he's dead. He's sitting there, like, even more changed. Like, well, you were right.
Yeah. You told
Apparently,
me.
being an asshole does not pay in the afterlife.
But I like it. I don't know. I just like the setting. I guess it's kind of like that old fashioned setting. I like the setting and everything. I like the mystical part of it. But the moral of the story I don't like. But I like the story itself. But
I don't know if it's really changing him from being, like, an asshole. I think it's reconnecting with
his life,
with his inner
Yeah.
life to make him really see the beauty of life.
Yeah.
He was very just focused on just his money and
Yeah.
not what was going on around him. And it
I could like
it
that
took the
part of it,
blinders
too.
off him. Like
Yeah.
that's how I look at it. Not like you're being a dick. Stop it. It's
Yeah.
more of a remember when you used to be happy. Try and reconnect and find
Yeah.
what makes you happy because you're just upsetting your people
Yeah.
around you and you're upsetting yourself. And
that's a better way to look at it. Yeah, I like that.
it's very optimistic.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
giving you the outcome of if your life continues this way,
Yeah.
it could be very lonely and sad.
Yeah.
And we don't want you to be lonely and sad.
Yeah.
We want you to be happy. We want you to connect. We want you to have your family around you. Sometimes you don't get that option,
No.
but
He's getting a choice there
yeah,
in that story. Yeah.
but you do, and that's like Ghost of Girlfriend's Past was kind of like
You don't have to like Christmas. Yeah, because it's
you don't. It's just about reconnecting with what
Yeah.
made you happy.
Yeah.
That's how I view it. It's
Yeah.
not forcing you to be something you're not. It's
yeah.
It's,
No, that's a better way to look at
it's
it.
reconnecting with what you were.
I still don't like Green Eggs and Ham.
You don't have to be like Green Man. You don't have to like them on a boat.
I don't. I do not. It's fucking. Oh god.
Would you with a goat?
Yeah. I know. Maybe. They got frog eyes. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, you can train them to pass out.
What?
Goats.
Really?
Yeah, have you ever seen the movie Men Who Stare at Goats? With
I didn't watch
George
it.
Clooney and stuff.
I've heard. I've seen.
It's
the trailer.
actually really entertaining movie, and like they were, if you stared at like there's some goats that if you stare at long enough, they will just pass out.
Yeah.
And they would do like psychotic, try psychic tests on people, and see if they can kill a goat by staring at it, and they would think they were killing it because they would stare at it and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's weird. I know they did tests like that.
Yeah, back in like the 60s and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's stupid, but you got
Well, it's still with not the Wachowski brothers, but those guys that made
the guys who did Fargo and stuff.
yeah, those guys are really good.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
But they got the dude in it, so
Oh yeah.
like he is the dude on like a level the dude's like, dude, you need to calm down. Here, have a white Russian.
I feel like he might have got typecast now because of that role.
Well, he played it so well.
Yeah, I did.
Where's the money? It's in there. Let me know.
I'm just taking a look.
Really? Fucking...
But yeah, a lot of robot movies. There's
Yeah.
like two. There's one with Banderas, Antonio Banderas,
I do not know.
and that one looks really interesting. And there's another one like the Weta Workshop just came out with, and that's got Hugh Jackman in it. But he's not the star. He's like an asshole in that movie.
Oh, so Real Steel?
When I saw Hugh Jackman, that was the first thing I thought of when I saw him come into it. But it's like the both movies, the one with Antonio Banderas and the one with Hugh Jackman. Weirdly enough, they kind of look like they could have took place in the same universe because the robots look like mannequins, like mannequins that can move. That's all CGI, obviously, but I mean they don't look like people in suits. They look like their torsos are just like.
So the fourth generation robots from iRobot,
but dirtier, not so clean, because the ones in iRobot were like Apple Store computer robots.
Like, the fifth generation ones, the fourth ones were like they.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right because I forgot about.
They look like droids.
Yeah, like they look just like that in that movie. And except in both movies, like the one with Hugh Jackman, there's just one robot that this guy made that had artificial intelligence, and they don't like it because they're like, no, that shit's gonna fucking fuck us up bad. In the Antonio Banderas one, there's robots everywhere, like in iRobot, and some of them are starting to malfunction and get their own artificial intelligence. Like they're starting to come independent, and Antonio Banderas is like, he works on robots, and they send him in to like figure out what the fuck's going on, and he figures out they're all, and they kidnap him and they take him into the desert because they wanna explore this new life. So both those movies look really fucking interesting. But they're very similar, and it's just one of those weird movie things where two movies are coming out that look almost identical.
Well, that happens.
And similar themes too. That happens a lot, yeah.
Well, that kind of happened. I don't know how close together. AI and Bicentennial Man.
They were far apart.
Really? I don't know.
Well, it happened with like Disney's The Wild and Madagascar, and like that Cinderella movie and Snow White and the Huntsman. It does happen.
Yeah, that Snow White movie though really sucked.
Fucking both sucked. Yes. Let's make out with the dead girl.
Brent rented Maleficent. And
oh no.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He's like, it wasn't bad, but
No,
the ending was kind of stupid. And I was like, how? Well, they made her out like she was the good guy, and she's not the good guy. And I was like, wasn't it just a couple months ago? You were getting mad at us because we weren't like open-minded about it, or we're saying she's supposed to be the villain. It's like, yeah, but and I was like, you gotta look at it this way, Brant. The victor writes history.
Yeah.
So, like, if the king wins in the end, of course he's going to portray Maleficent as the bad guy. She may not be the bad guy, but in Sleeping Beauty, she obviously loses. So she's clearly the bad guy. Quit throwing monkey wrenches in us, fucking Disney, because we have our villains. Let them just
She's
be
a popular
villains.
one, though.
Let them just be a villain.
That's my problem with Dracula, the new Dracula movie that came
Just
out.
let him be a villain. Don't have to make him all sympathetic, like, oh, well, he's just an anti-hero. Yeah. No! He's a villain!
Yeah.
They're not all Stone Cold Steve Austin. Sorry, it was...
I agree with you. Because that's the same problem I have with that Dracula Legacy.
Yeah. I still kind of want to see it just because it looks graphically entertaining.
It does look graphic. Well, that's the thing. Like, I say I don't want to see a movie, people automatically jump to think, like, when I say it looks bad, they think I mean visually. I don't think visually it looks bad. No. A lot of times it's just story, just kind of go, that fucking sounds stupid. Maybe I should start saying that. That sounds stupid. Because, like, I said that about Twilight. And I was like, that looks stupid.
To be fair, visually it looked stupid too.
It was visually stupid. A lot of times it's not the case. Like Cowboys versus Aliens. I wouldn't say that was visually stupid.
No. I enjoyed the movie on a story level too. It was
that wasn't bad. That wasn't.
It was different.
It was different. I wish it was just. It was like on the verge of being really good to me, but instead it just ended up being just okay. Like it was like, no, that wasn't bad.
Was Olivia Wilde's character in Alien 2?
In
Cowboys versus Aliens, I want to say she was an alien. I remember like her saying, but I can't remember. Like she wasn't like that race of alien. She was like.
Oh no! Yeah, she was an alien. Oh God, I did not understand what you said there. I thought you were asking if she was in Aliens 2 with Sigourney Weaver and shit, and I'm like,
what? No.
You think that young actress was in a 1980s
movie? No.
Was she an Alien 2? Okay, just misheard you. Yes, she was. She came from another planet that was happened to Earth, and they got overran. She said that in the movie, though.
I don't
you
remember. Like, I remember, like, I want to say she was an alien, but I was like, was she? I didn't want to, like, bet the farm on it, you know?
John Carter from Mars was, or John Carter. John Carter. That was
Princess of Mars or whatever.
Yeah, Princess of Mars. That would have been a better title. That wasn't visually bad.
No.
It just sucked.
Which, there were good
parts there was
in the
really
movie.
good parts in that movie.
And, like, visually it was fantastic, except for the ape scene kind of was stupid. But it was like, and I don't want to blame that actor, because it was like, I don't think he was bad.
Oh, he's completely out of Hollywood now too.
Yeah, well, like, he had X-Men Origins Wolverine, and then he had that, and then he had Battleship.
Bad call, buddy. Bad call.
I don't know if it was a really bad. It was just, I need work.
He's not even a bad actor. Well, I think he was just trying to get into the leading actor role, and he was just taking like these big title budget movies that were not gonna, like, didn't want to like a big title name.
You had Disney backing John Carter, and it's like, when was the last time Disney like messed something up like that horrendously bad? They put so much money into this movie. There was no way they were getting it back, and it flopped horribly.
It would have made more sense, Princess of Mars.
I think the first like half hour of that movie was really good, but all the stuff with him and Brian Krasnick. How do I say his name? Brian Krasnick? The guy from Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those where he keeps breaking out and they keep recapturing him.
Why does everybody like give that guy Brian Krasnick? Why does everybody give him so much praise? Loves him so much, and then every time they put him in a big budget movie, they kill him off or get rid of him right away.
What big budget movies do they have him in besides John Carter and Godzilla?
Those are the only ones I'm thinking of right now.
Yeah, they too.
Yeah, but why don't they give him more roles?
I don't know.
I know. I was saying they give him so much praise and everything like that, and yet they don't put him in shit. He's got to be feeling like shit at home. He's like, man, everybody loves me, and yet my phone's not ringing. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Maybe he's at the point where he doesn't. He
probably doesn't.
He can choose what projects he wants to work on. Like,
he probably can, but
like, that's one thing I wish they had changed about like Godzilla, is if they'd just given him and that Wonton guy, like, make them like the human interest and not that Aaron Taylor, whatever the kid's name is.
I could have fixed Godzilla with two things, and that movie would have been a blockbuster.
More monster fights.
You don't even need more monster fights. Focus most of your movie on the monster fights. Because obviously that's what people liked about Godzilla movies.
Was the monster fight.
It was the fucking monster fights.
It was most of the movie, the monster fight.
And have it take place, I don't know, during the daytime, where you could actually see the monster fights going about, instead of like at night from pointing up. I mean, pointing up look at angle.
It was Cloverfield.
Yeah. That works in some of your Godzilla movie. It's not gonna work in all of your Godzilla. I mean, fuck, King Kong didn't even, the Peter Jackson remake didn't even take place from our point of view from the whole fucking movie. No. And you know why? Because that would have fucking sucked.
That was a good movie.
So I don't want to follow fucking Kick-Ass running around the city looking for a fucking bomb. I don't care about Kick-Ass.
It pissed me off that he had to be the one to like save Godzilla. Because Godzilla was like being overwhelmed by the two things, and he blows up the nest. And I was like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. One, you're fucking boring as hell. Like, if they wanted to say like he was like in shock or whatever, and I was like, no, he was not.
Nobody was in shock in that movie.
No one. Which, granted, they probably should have been, because they have giant monsters fighting in their city. Yeah, they should be in shock. They should be running in fear. And he's just like, oh,
I mean,
boom.
goddamn, it's really bad when you get at this point in age. You got a animated show called How It Should Have Ended, which started off as just kind of a funny parody. Like, yeah, the movie probably that would have
doing stuff for HBO or whatever.
Is that what they were starting?
They were started off. It'd have like this shorts and stuff. They would have them in between the movies on like HBO or Max or whatever.
Well, I
like
get that.
The movie channels. They would have them in there, and then they just had their own like website.
But
you guys are so awesome.
The point is like they're just like, hey, it wouldn't have been funny if the movie ended like this, or if this happened at the end. And it was always like on the older movies, you're like, that's hilarious, that's funny. And anymore, you watch it, you're like,
that's exactly how it should have gone.
Like he picks up I don't know if you watched one for Godzilla, but he picks up the phone and he's like, there's monsters killing in the city. And his wife's like, what should I do? Get out of the city! There's fucking monsters running around the city. And go get our son, because I would just be irresponsible to leave him with a stranger.
Which she did.
And people wonder why they're losing money at the box office. It's just because you're rushing this shit out and you're not putting any thought behind it. And people go to see it and they get pissed because they wasted all their fucking time and money on this shit.
The best line in the whole movie was "Let them fight," because that's what everybody at that point was feeling. It was just like they've already had like 2 fights off screen, and the thing that pissed me off, like the first time, if you want to fake us out with it, like I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Maybe do it one at a time. They do it like 4 or 5 times, where they fake us out, and then you would have it like fighting on the TV screen.
Yeah, that's
kids
insulting.
Watching
I was gonna say
that pissed me off.
That's insulting.
I was like, "Fuck you, dudes! Fuck you!" If I didn't pay like $15,
like the funniest thing ever would have been the kid watching Godzilla fight on TV, and then you pan back to somebody watching the movie at home.
and then you
pan back to somebody else like going, "This is fucking stupid." You're right, it is, because go to see Godzilla fight on TV,
and then lean over and talk to Howard the
like,
dog.
I mean, that's what the movie felt like. It felt that sums it up right there. It feels like somebody watching it on TV. Like the whole movie could have took place like about like it could have been a romantic comedy, and like Godzilla thing was just happening in the background. You're like for all the TV, and they're just talking about it occasionally, like, oh yeah, there's monsters fighting in New York. You're like, oh yeah. Hope everybody makes it. Yeah, you're so beautiful.
You had me at.
Yeah. No, it can't be about Godzilla at all. Because then you're breaking the quote. God, that just pisses me off anymore about that shit. Stop doing shit like that.
Like
everybody's like, oh, Pacific Rim was so good. You know why? Because there was fucking shit happening in it.
It was about robots fighting monsters.
Yeah.
They knew what they wanted.
What's
they
that
knew
guy's
what they
name?
delivered.
Del Gormo? He's not a genius. He's fucking just using common sense.
He's like, you guys want to see monsters and robots fight?
Yeah.
Yes! I can do this.
Yeah.
I will have them fight. And it will be visually pleasing.
And everybody's like,
story.
Oh my god, that's so ingenious. Robots fighting monsters. I'm like, no, it's what everybody wants to fucking see.
He's capitalizing on,
on
our imagination.
On your stupidity of Hollywood. You're like, well, you gotta have a lead actor and you have to follow him around with his problems. No, why? I don't care what the fucking Shia LaBeouf is doing. I want to see Transformers transforming and fighting. I don't give a fuck what
I kind of want to see
Marky Mark is doing with some fucking sword.
I kind of want to see a Captain Planet movie.
Yeah, but do you want to see a Captain Planet movie, or do you want to see a Captain or a movie about a bunch of Planeteers running around?
I'd watch that. As long as the redhead kid and the Russian chick fuck.
I'm sure they have that movie already.
Like they get down to it, and then they have the African kid and the Chinese girl.
Yeah, I'm sure that exists.
They make some mud, you know what I'm saying? Because he was earth and she was water. And then you have Hart.
Yeah.
And he really gets the mood going.
You're not describing a movie at this point.
And then Captain Planet comes in with a pizza.
Yeah, and fixes the cable. With your powers combined.
And then he leaves with no incident.
Just a big orgy.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Captain Planet, he's our hero.
I think I'm a horrible person.
That's just a weird way to go. That Russian chick was hot.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, she probably
the accent, man.
She probably didn't shave anything because it's Russian women.
Don't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more
the redheaded kid. How racist are you? Why could she hook up with Monty or the? Yeah. No, it's got to be the redheaded kid. Okay. Yeah. The white American.
Yeah. She will dominate Dominica.
He couldn't hook up with the Chinese chick.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I think she would dominate everybody there, except for me, the African guy.
I don't know. I don't think I don't think Asian women are very dominant. It's not part of their culture.
No, the Russian chick.
Oh yeah.
She'd be like, "You are all my bitches." That did not sound Russian at all.
Just down a thing of vodka.
Yeah. With breakfast.
Before she says it, like, "You're all my bitches."
She's just talking to Mother Nature. She's like, "Shut up, bitch." But I gave you that ring. No, you didn't, Whoopi Goldberg. Give me my shit. I'm gonna own you.
Whoopi Goldberg. That's hilarious.
I recently went and saw John Wick.
Yes, you did.
That's probably my favorite movie of the year.
Really? I'm still sticking with Captain America.
Captain America was a good movie. John Wick was fantastic, though. Like, I don't know if it's because my expectation was just kind of like, oh, it's just going to be like a shoot 'em up movie. And it wasn't. Like, the first, like, half of the hour of the movie, I was like, what the fuck?
It looked like it was like a...
Because it was so slow going, though.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like...
Looked like it had some funny, witty parts in it.
And then when it hit, it was like, boom, like an atomic bomb went off. And, like, shit just got real. Like,
That was the best compliment Keanu Reeves has ever gotten from any reviewer.
But like he's like an ex-hitman or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
And he had to do a huge job to get out of the business because he fell in love, and his wife ended up getting cancer, and she ended up dying of the cancer. Before she died, she had paid this shelter to take care of this dog and train it and stuff. So when she died, they would send the dog to her husband so he would have something to care for, and she didn't tell him about it. So one day the dog just shows up with this note from his wife, and if I wasn't sitting next to Mike at the time, I probably would start crying like a little bitch. Because this cute little puppy shows up with this card from his wife saying, "I love you. I've accepted my fate. I don't want you to be alone. I know
like
you
that other
still
Keanu
have..."
Reeves movie, like November to Remember.
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't remember that.
Where it was like he started dating. Weirdly enough, he started dating a girl who had like terminal cancer.
It sounds like The Fault of Our Stars.
And it was that one. It was like one girl from Eon Flux. I can't remember. She was the bad guy in Snow White and the Huntsman. She was the
Charlize Theron.
Yeah, it was him and Keanu Reeves. And it was like a romantic it wasn't. It was like a romantic chick flick, and they fell in love, and then she really liked him, and she saw he was getting too attached, and she like broke it off, and that was like the end of the movie. He tried not to get it broke off, and then he like
accepted the fate.
Yeah, he just yeah, it was a good movie. That's what I say. It sounds like you could have watched that one and then started watching this one. Like it takes up like.
But like
okay.
So he has this dog now, and he's like,
yeah.
He's sitting there, and it got like really intense. Like right, he's reading like the card, and he looks at the dog, and he just breaks down.
Yeah. Like
how a normal person would break down. It was like he did a fantastic job.
Unfortunately, he actually has experience in that. That probably was more
of a realistic.
Yeah.
Bringing back poor guy, but he did a fantastic
job. He's got a bad story behind him.
So like now he has this dog that he's like caring for, and he goes to bed and he sleeps with it, and he feeds it, and it was the morning after he didn't have dog food. He didn't plan on having dog food. He gets the bowl out of the cabinet, and he gets himself a bowl of cereal, and he's like, "Oh, you're probably hungry." So he gives the dog a bowl of cereal, and they go driving. He has this really nice like 1969 Mustang GTO or whatever.
Yeah. And
they go driving around. The dog's in his passenger seat, and they're just driving around. And he like goes to the airport, and he's just like driving like 100,000 miles an hour as fast as he can go, and like stops right before running into like a giant equipment. Like he's just like freaking the fuck out. He goes to get gas, and have you seen Game of Thrones or some of them?
I've seen no Game of Thrones.
Okay, well the kid who plays Theon Greyjoy plays this little Russian punk kid in there. His dad.
Is that the same kid from Batman Begins?
No, that is
okay.
that's the guy who plays Joffrey. But he's the little shit in Game of Thrones, and he's the little shit in this movie. And his dad's like this huge Russian crime boss. And him and his cronies come back from doing a job in that Atlantic City, and he sees John Wick in his car at this gas station, and he comes over. He's like, "Oh, a nice car." And he's like, "How much is it?" And he's like, "Oh, it's not for sale." And he says to him in Russian, like, "Everything has a price, bitch." And John Wick was a fucking hitman for the Russian mob, so he speaks back to him fucking like in Russian, like, "This bitch doesn't have a price," and he drives off. Well, they end up following back to his house, break into his house, attack him, kill his dog in front of him, and steal the guy's car. And then there's a scene where it's like they get away, and he crawls over the dog, and as the dog's dying, he's laying with the dog, and it's like, oh fuck. And then you get like his backstory, because like John Leguizamo is in this movie for like a minute. He owns a chop shop. They bring the car to him, and he gets pissed because he knows whose car it is, and like he bitch slaps that guy. And then the kid's dad calls him. He's like, "I heard you hit my son." He's like, "Yeah, he stole John Wick's car." He's like, "Oh fuck." So like he calls his son. He's like, "What the fuck did you do?" And then he tries to call John Wick, like trying to talk him out of it, like, "We can be reasonable." And he doesn't say anything on the phone. Just hangs up. And like right at that point, he's like, "Okay, send everybody you have to his house and kill him right now."
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they send like 12 dudes, and like he just, and as he like before that, he's telling his son about John Wick. Like he was called like the boogeyman in Russian, but he's like he's the guy the boogeyman hides from. Like that's how fucking terrifying he's supposed to be to like all these people. And from that point on, it's just him running. He essentially kills off an entire sect of the Russian mob.
I get that, but it kind of confuses me in the fact that if he's so badass, then why he had his guard down so much to have the dog killed in the first place and his car stolen?
That's because he was grieving. He wasn't expecting to get attacked or any of this stuff. He was just.
I don't know. It just in my mind, I would expect like a hitman of that level of being like the boogeyman's scared of him to just always be.
He was out. He'd been out for like years. He was done. He didn't think he would ever get back to it. And like as he's telling, but it was like the thing with this movie is it just flowed so well. Like the score to it fit every scene perfectly. Like I was geeking out at just some of the camera angles they were doing. I was like, oh cool. Man, it's just because it really drew you into the movie. The action scenes were so perfectly choreographed. The acting was superb. Like I cannot recommend this movie.
That's funny because Keanu Reeves is known for one of his acting chops.
Well, he didn't have an extensive amount of lines in the movie, and what he did was. They were so witty because there's a hotel in this called the Continental where all the hitmen will go and stay. And when you're at the Continental, you cannot perform a job on the premises. Like it's a safe haven for them. And it's just like all the witty banter between like because it's their job and it's their code and stuff. So as he's talking, like all these people there, they just know, and we're just kind of connecting the dots. So he's like, and he gets attacked while he's at the Continental by another hitman, and he stops him and he goes down to the front desk and he's like, "I heard there was a commotion in your room." He's like, "Yes, it was taken care of. I need fresh sheets." And he's like, "Okay." Like it's just another day at the office. And like I think like me and Mike tried to count up how many people he killed, and like it's within a day period that this all happens. He kills like 12 at his house, and then he goes like to the Continental and gets all his guns and stuff, and then he goes like to his bathhouse like club thing and he kills like 50 dudes there. Like it's by the end of the day he killed like 70 or something plus the top head of the fucking mob. Like it's
I don't want to spoil too much of the movie now.
I don't even care at this point. Like I can't gush enough about this movie.
That's
like
funny.
there's this. I want to go back and see it again.
That's cool.
Like
That's
and again,
cool.
I want to see it like as many times as I can see it.
That's awesome.
Sorry, I was. It's
No,
it's a really good movie. Like I haven't had I haven't been this excited about a movie in fucking forever.
That's cool.
Like as soon as it comes out, I'm fucking buying it like right away.
They did not do a good job with the trailer because the trailer did not look that interesting.
I was intrigued by the trailers.
Really?
I thought it was just gonna be like a movie where you go in and he's just I'm just gonna boom boom boom. He just goes and shoots him up. Like no, like you get the sense from him that it's like he has lost everything, and when he got the puppy, it was like a semblance of what his wife had given him. And when they killed the dog, they killed what little goodness he had left inside of him. He had nothing left to live for. He was like, well, fuck it. You pretty much killed me, so I'm going to go and kill all of you.
While he was filming The Matrix, his fiancée at the time had a miscarriage, which eventually drove them apart. And then I guess they were still seeing each other, but then she died in a car accident, and he was there.
Like, in the car? Or, like...
So he's got some... Apparently, I think he lives in Chicago. Keanu Reeves does.
I think that's where it took place, actually.
And...
Chicago or
Detroit. He's apparently the nicest guy ever, but he lives alone. He doesn't want to have a family now. He doesn't want to get married or anything like that. And you can see him, like, if you live there, he's regular. He just walks around, and everybody just kind of ignores him because he doesn't want to be bothered. But, I mean, he's apparently he's, like, one of the nicest people you can approach, because if you approach him, he'll shake your hand, give you an autograph if you want it, and say, hey, thanks, blah, blah, blah. He's a really nice guy, but he's very timid. Like, he's kind of got shutterbugged after that whole experience, apparently. Like, he's lost his whole family, and he was really good friends with I can't think of his name. His brother still makes movies. The guy in
Do 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 do.
Walking Tall. Yeah.
Walking Tall?
I think it was Walking Tall. The one about Johnny Cash.
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, his brother. I can't remember his name. Phoenix.
The musician guy.
Well, he was in movies.
Yeah.
He was in Indiana Jones.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah. Phoenix. They all had weird names. Keanu Reeves was real good friends with him too, and he was there that night. I think he was there that night when he had the drug overdose too. I know Johnny Depp was there too. All three of those guys were good friends.
Well, Johnny
And
Depp's still alive.
Yeah, no, but that hit him pretty hard too. So, Keanu Reeves had a lifetime of just like people dying around him and stuff, and he just.
Well, he channeled it freaking fantastically.
Yeah, I was saying when you say he acted like that, I'm like, well, yeah, he's probably got some. Unfortunately, he's got some personal experience to draw off of.
So,
It's not really a stretch for you to ask him, like, okay, you've lost everything, and this has come back to you, and we need you to act emotional about. He's I fucking got that one. It's tried, unfortunately.
like, a lot of people are like complaining that he has such big gaps between his movies. And I was like, he just did 47 Rohan like last year, and Mike had no idea what I was talking about. I was like, it was the one where he was like a samurai.
I don't know what he did before that. Before that, though.
Well, he had the Matrix trilogy up to like 2004 or 2006.
Yeah, I know he did something after that, though.
When was the Lake House? Was that 2005?
Yeah. He did that after The Matrix. He did that November thing too after The Matrix.
Because I know, like, because he did Bill and Ted movies.
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't remember anything between the Bill and Ted
He
stuff.
did Dracula.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
And then he did The Matrix, and then the Matrix movies, and he did The Replacements with Gene Hackman, which I love that movie, too.
Yeah.
And then he did Matrix Reloaded or Revolution or whatever.
The one with what's his face?
That narrows it down.
Yeah, I know.
What's his face?
Patrick Swayze.
The
Bank Robbers.
Yeah, I don't know.
They all had the dead presidents met. Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a really good movie. That's like one of the ones that everybody credits Keanu Reeves on.
He did Devil's Advocate.
Yeah, that was a good movie too. I can't remember the name of that one. Yeah, but Patrick Swayze was like a surfer, and they went around to different beaches and they robbed banks. They had president masks.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And Keanu Reeves was an FBI agent, and they sent him in undercover to try to infiltrate the gang. And then Patrick Swayze figures him out, like, and then he makes him rob a bank with him and shit. And it's a fucking good movie. They jump out of planes and shit.
I've heard of that. I haven't seen it though.
That was before The Matrix, though.
Chain Reaction, was that what it was called?
Oh yeah, with Morgan Freeman. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was before The Matrix, I think.
Then he had The Matrix, and he had...
Well, I think it might have been after the first Matrix. Chain Reaction might have been after the first Matrix, and then they did Matrix 2 and 3 together. And they just released them separate. He had a good career. He has a good career.
Yeah.
I know in like The Matrix 2, he gave up his paycheck because they were under budget. And then I heard the rest of this paycheck he just gave to charity because he said he didn't need it. He's got enough money to live comfortably.
Yeah.
At this point. So, hey.
He doesn't have to work. He's only like 30 or 40 or something like that. He's not...
like 40.
He's not that old.
40s.
But he's in terrific shape. I'd do him.
He's a high price actor, of course.
People always like make jokes that he was like so deadpan or whatever. And it's like, I don't...
I think it's mostly from The Matrix because it was most well known. He had to be like really pale in that movie, but he's mostly... I know he's like half Asian, half American, which always made me mad when the Rohan movie came out because they were like, "What the fuck's Keanu Reeves doing in this movie about Japanese people?" And I'm like, "Motherfucker's half Japanese," and he was playing a half Japanese in the movie. So what the fuck? He's not.
It's not like you got like Willem Dafoe playing.
But he doesn't look Irish or anything. Like he looks like he's half Oriental. Like I don't understand why people think that was racist.
I don't know.
The Johnny Depp one playing the Indian though, I'm like
Tonto?
Yeah.
It was Jack Sparrow of the West. That's all it was.
Well, a lot of people said he had no right playing an Indian, and then he's like, I am half Indian. And then
I don't have a problem with him playing Indian. I'm just tired of like since he played Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Except for like Secret Window. I don't remember that movie. Yeah, like except for like that movie, I can't really think of a movie where he didn't play
The Rum Diaries. He didn't.
Some variation of.
That was a good movie
Jack
too.
Sparrow.
No, he didn't play any kind of variation.
I guess
If anything, he was playing.
Public Enemies would be another one too, but like a lot of like the really big movies he was in, like the other besides the other
like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks like he's doing it again in that one Woods one that you were just talking about a minute ago.
Into the Woods.
Yeah, because he's playing the big bad wolf.
Yeah.
And that kind of looks like a Jack Sparrow-y role. And he's going to play Jack Sparrow again because like another Pirates movie.
They really should have stopped at 3. Because that fourth one was horrible.
Yeah, it was.
You defend that one to me too. You're like, no, the story is really good. And I was like,
I liked the story. It was the action that sucked.
The whole movie just sucked. Like I was so bored with it. Like it almost felt like it had like no direction.
Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't think the overall story wasn't bad.
Finding the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, I liked the story behind it. I didn't like. I don't like the direction I took with Jack Sparrow, I guess. That's a better way to put it. It was like one of those other ones that was like on the border of being really good to me, but there was so many bad things with it. It wasn't good at all.
It felt like it was like something that could have been like a prequel to the pirate trilogy. Like I want it to be the pirate trilogy. I don't need any of the other stuff because the events that happened in the pirate trilogy.
Well,
and then like the fourth movie just felt like an offshoot of like, here's an adventure of Jack Sparrow that you might want to know about.
A lot of people get surprised when they say like, what was your favorite Pirates movie? And I tell them it was the third one. And they're like, really? The third one? I was like, yeah, I like the third one the most out of all of them. I don't dislike the other two. I like them too. But if you say pick my favorite, I pick the third one.
It's pretty good.
A lot of people don't like. A lot of people like the first one the most.
I'm torn between
No one likes the second one.
I enjoy the second one.
Did you like the second one? The second one was really good. I liked the second one too.
I did enjoy it.
But I thought the third one was the most fleshed out. I like his entrance the most in that one.
With the multiple sparrows and stuff?
No, I mean Jack Sparrow always has like a grand entrance into the even though we did see him before that, but they always introduce him in some when they play his theme song, that's when he's getting introduced. Like you could say that in the second one. You saw him, the coffin come down, blah blah blah. But when he popped out of the coffin, they played dun, 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 dun. And the first movie was in him riding in on the ship, and it was sinking, and he stepped off. Even though we saw him before that, like checking the compass and shit. But his entrance was the. But I like it. He's on the ship, and the ship was riding on the sand. He's just sitting up there like, "Yep, it's a normal day for me."
It's like the time I tied those sea turtles together in my hair.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember what it was in the fourth one. I know it was pretty weak.
Wasn't it like that coach chase or whatever? Because he was the judge.
It might have been.
He was the judge, but I don't think it was the new music then.
I don't remember defending the fourth movie. I think
you did. You always. I was like.
If anything, I was saying I liked the story of it, but I didn't like the movie.
You always said that the action wasn't that great.
No, the action sucked.
You always said the story was really good, and you're like, I liked the movie. And I went and watched it. I was like, this is what you liked. I remember thinking that. I was like, that movie was horrible. I have it because I bought it for like $5. And I've watched it.
Yeah. It was the story. It was a story I liked because I thought going on the Fountain of Youth, Blackbeard could have been done a lot better.
Yeah.
That was kind of weak for such a icon. I mean, they could have built him through 3 movies.
I did enjoy the mermaid part.
Yeah.
Like that was like what mermaids were supposed to be, not Ariel.
Yeah. I like that too. That was good.
Now, at the end when the priest or whatever got dragged down, were they going to eat him or what?
I don't know. I assume they were going to eat him. Fuck him.
Because I thought like they said something like if you were kissed by a mermaid or whatever, you could breathe underwater or something like, and she was like in love with him.
Yeah, but the way they described the mermaids was mermaids just tried to like lust you into the water, and then they would devour you, and they were doing that, and this one got caught, and then he's like, oh, she's special, and like in my head. I'm just she's just playing this whole thing out, and then she does, and she drags it. I'm like, that was one. I mean, it was a lot of work for a cheeseburger, but she came back with a fucking cheeseburger. That's how I saw it. Cause like, what the fuck are they gonna do? Like, what kind of that was like the end of like Splash. I don't know if you ever saw that movie. It was like Tom Hanks and he fell in love with a mermaid. It's a really good movie, especially. That's weird for you because you were on that whole mermaids thing for a while back.
Oh yeah, I remember. Okay,
but it was Tom Hanks and he even had Chevy Chase in it too. It was a good movie. It had even the dad from American Pie.
Oh, Eugene Levy.
Yeah, it was a fucking great movie. But this mermaid fell in love with this Tom Hanks when he was a kid, and then. Tom Hanks grew up and blah blah blah, and the mermaid came back, and she only knew his name because she got his coat, and she was in love with him since she was a kid when they had that first interaction, and she said that the mermaids like her society allowed her like a week to find him and bring him back, or or stay with him or whatever, and she found him like within the first hour of being out of the water, but she was like naked on Liberty Island. I forget who played the mermaid. She was famous too at the time, but they had really good special effects. But yeah, there was the whole thing that he could breathe underwater too, as long as she was holding her hand. And then like at the end of the movie, they swim off together because everybody found out she was a mermaid and they wanted to like study her, and she couldn't stay on the surface. So she's like, "Come with me," and he's like, "Okay." And they go and they swim, and like that's the whole end of the end movie is I'm swimming away into the deep blue ocean, and I'm like, what the fuck kind of life is that? Like, what the fuck are they gonna do? Like, what? Like, he's just gonna live in the... He can never not hold her hand, which I guess it's good, like, if you want to, like, for sex, you're like, well, let's have sex. You're like, I don't want to tonight, honey. Like, well, can't not stop holding hands. Like, yeah, it's like, what the... And yeah, you see like the underwater mermaid city at the end, but they don't, I guess it's like an 80s movie, they don't show it, the inside, you just see like a model shot of it. It's a good movie though, but like...
Model shot of what?
The mermaid city.
Oh. So were there mermen in this too, or just mermaids?
I don't know, they didn't mention that. I would imagine it was mermaids, only breeding population. I don't know what kind of mutant fish kids they were going to have, but... Or even if they could have kids, but yeah.
The magical sorcery of Atlantis will turn him into a merman.
Which was the other weird thing in that movie too, because she was bringing up all these quirks. Like, he's like, "What's your name?" And she's like, "I don't want to tell you my name." And she like does it, and it's like so high pitched that it breaks all the glass. And I'm like, what the fuck are they gonna do? Like underwater, like he's not gonna understand anything. Like,
so she could speak like English.
She was learning English occasionally as the movie went on. Like, she couldn't speak it at first that well, but yeah. Her name was Madison in the movie because they were on Madison Avenue, and he mentioned it. She's like, "That sounds pretty like it." And he started calling her Madison. You never saw Splash, really?
Never seen.
Wow.
That's not that amazing.
It's kind of amazing. I guess it's just weird, like, some people don't see, like, movies you grow up with, and you're like, you think it's just commonplace because it was always on HBO.
Which is funny, because about, like, a week ago, I was at work,
yeah,
and I was talking to this high school kid there.
Yeah, so it's happening to you. Yeah.
And I was talking to her about the Mighty Ducks. She
Yeah.
had no idea what I was talking about. This dude came in, clearly, like, in his, like, early 40s, late 30s, and I was like, he'll back me up. Mighty Ducks, good movie. He had never seen the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
And then he said something that really pissed me off. He's like, guys our age, it was so long ago. And I was like, how old do you think I am? I was like 35. And I was just like...
Ouch.
I was like, really?
Well, that's what someone said, like, Emilio Estevez never had a career. I was like, well, he had those...
Mighty Duck movies.
I was like, yeah, he had those hockey movies.
He had The Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I was like, I was listing some off, and we're like, never heard of him.
He had the one where he played
Young
Billy
Guns.
the Kid. Young Guns
1 and 2, yeah. I mentioned those too, and you're like, never heard of them. I was like, you do know that's Charlie Sheen's brother, and they're like, what?
Didn't you? Was it Young Guns he did it with Charlie Sheen, or?
Yeah, he was in a lot of Charlie Sheen movies for a while. I mean, his brother was helping him out. He was in Men at Work, and Young Guns, and I want to say like. Emilio Estevez did a spoof of Lethal Weapon called Loaded Weapon with Samuel L. Jackson, which nobody's ever seen, which is fucking hilarious because Samuel Jackson plays like
an angry black man.
No, actually doesn't. He plays like a very timid black man.
But
he plays like
ability.
He played because it was a spoof off of Lethal Weapon, so he plays the Danny Glover character.
I'm not old enough for this shit.
Yeah, basically, and it's fucking hilarious because then he slowly becomes like the gun tootin' and fucking
doo.
I don't know why you do that because that fucks me up when you do that.
The silence, man, it kills me.
The God damn it, Star Trek. William Shatner plays the villain in that movie. And nobody's fucking seen it. It's fucking hilarious.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, there was like a scene where he got obviously hooked up. Emilio Estevez got hooked up because he's playing the Mel Gibson role. He obviously gets hooked up with the love interest, and they have sex. And he gets out of bed, and she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just doing one of those epic walk in the moonlight, have the moonlight bounce off my butt scenes." And he like had this fake ass. It was hilarious, and it was like all oiled up and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've seen more movies than a lot of people have, and when I mention them, like nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about.
Probably.
Yeah. Just like you just a second ago.
Yeah.
Whatever movie we were talking about. Like.
Just Splash and Loaded Gun.
No, it's that one with Keanu Reeves and
November to Remember.
No, Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze.
Oh yeah.
But I don't remember the name of that one.
No, I know what movie you're talking about though. I know of that movie though.
I want to say it starts with an R, but
But a lot of people have seen that movie. Like a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, it was popular, but I don't know if people.
So you may know like more movies than what I have seen.
Yeah.
But to be fair, that's not that big of an accomplishment. I know a lot of random crap about random things, but
yeah, I do too.
I tend to lose in that department. Like I know more than your average human being.
Yeah.
You're like the brainiac of that kind of stuff.
I'm the brainiac in the worst way.
I know.
Because my shit is completely useless knowledge. Like
Unless you're like
if society breaks down, or if there's a zombie apocalypse, I will finally be doing okay with my life. And we're like, hey guys, come here. I want to make a fire. How are you gonna do that? Well, just like this. Wow. Just would have used this matches. Well, yeah, I guess you could use that.
Oh, there's a. I don't know if you watch survival shows and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a show called "Dude, You're Screwed." Where like it's a group of these guys. They're survival experts.
Oh,
and they were
I
like,
have seen
they
that.
Were like kidnap each other and like drop them in random places.
Yeah, I've seen that actually.
And this guy, they dropped this one guy in like Symbia or whatever, like in the giant desert, and they left him like a bunch of random crap in a suit. And on his suit, he had these cufflinks, where his cufflinks are little lighters, so he can
they
take
always
them off.
smuggle them.
And I was like, "Oh, you're a genius! They're like cufflink lighters. That's brilliant."
They smuggle shit all the time. Like I saw one where they, as a joke, they put lipstick on some guy and they gave him a lipstick bottle and they're like, haha. And he actually used, because a lot of people don't know that, but lipstick and chapstick actually have like something in it that's flammable, and you can use that to start a fire, like kind of like candle wick, stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, I watched one last night. It was this guy his name was like Mark Graham or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like a primitive survival expert.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like an endurance long distance runner where like they run for like hundreds of miles.
Yeah.
And they dropped him in the middle of Africa. And he's like, "Oh guys, this is all." He's ecstatic to be there.
Yeah.
Like they gave him like arrows and they dropped a bow off on the top of this mountain to try and. Because they have like 100 hours in order to reach civilization and in order to win. If they don't reach it or they have to be pulled out due to like health reasons, they lose. And they have a cameraman with him, but like the cameraman's not allowed to do anything. So like he finally like reaches civilization, but there's like this tribe in Africa where if like you encounter them, they're going to kill you.
Yeah.
And then like he's like, "Oh crap, he won the game." They're like, "Oh crap!" Like look who he run into. It's like, "Oh, grab the car." And they're like, "Oh hey," it's like, "Oh, they got spears. They don't look too happy to see me." And they come walking over, and they're like, "They want you to turn the camera off." I'm like, "Oh shit!" They saved him by trading a cow for his life. I'm like,
that's funny.
Like that's awesome.
Well, there are good aspects about survival shows because I think everybody should know the skills. You don't have to
be an expert.
live. You don't have to live by the skills, but to know them is always wise to know something like that.
But practice them, dude. Just like having the knowledge of it isn't the same as actually practicing. Oh, I saw some guy do this.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean you're just gonna be like grabbing
the
sticks
expert.
and
Yeah. You wanna practice a little bit. Just make sure you got it down. You don't have to live by it though.
Yeah.
But a lot of those survival shows are also like preempted too. Like they set them up sometimes. Survivor Man is like, or Bear Grylls is like the worst. Not Survivor Man, but Bear Grylls is the worst contender of that, because I've seen people.
But does he like stay in like hotels?
Yeah, he stays in hotels and shit, and everything's like preempted. Like when he kills something, it's already dead. And I've seen a couple like YouTube clips where he's like over a canyon, and he's like talking about how dangerous it is to jump over it because he could fall in and get into a crevasse, and then this guy cuts the guy, and it's just like a normal handy cam, and he's like, he jumps over it, and then he like pans the camera over, and there's an interstate like 10 feet away. He pans it back, and he's like, yeah, it was like really dangerous. It was like an asshole.
Well, there's one of those, dude, you're totally screwed or whatever, and he got dropped in the desert with a cufflink, and they had to pull him out because he was like, hey, your temperature goes below like 96 degrees or above like 99 point something, they gotta pull you out. And he was like, every decision he made
was bad.
Yeah, like like it was smart what he was doing. He was just going the wrong direction.
Right.
And they had to pull him out because he was like he was almost running out of time, but like dehydration was setting in so bad, like his kidneys were shutting down, and he was throwing out.
It's not easy. Like I saw one guy he just wanted to go to some part in Canada or Alaska just to survive for like a couple months, and he had provisions and food, and he was just gonna survive off the land for a while, and he was just filming it, and he got like 2 months into it, and he totally botched out. Like he had run out of food, he couldn't hunt food, he couldn't catch food like fishing and stuff like that, nothing was biting, he couldn't kill anything, and he was starving, and he was just, because he was filming it for a documentary, and he had to like, he had a location where he was dropping the tapes off at, and at one point he's just basically crying because he's like, I miss my girlfriend, I didn't know how bad isolation would be, like I can't handle it, and he's like, I'm out of food. And when he went back to get more tapes, they gave him food, and he was so overwhelmed by that, he was just in tears, and he just called it after that. That was like his last day. He got to the hotel room. He got picked up. He went to the hotel room. And he was still recording. And he's like, I asked the guy if he had anything to eat, and he gave me a block of cheese. And he was just sitting there munching on it. And he's just laying on the floor. And he's like, he went through an ordeal. And he couldn't believe he made it through. And he could see that in him. And it's just like, oh, a lot of people can't do it. And that's why I say, like, it's always good to just practice your skills. You don't think you just know it all. Like, just...
They got that other show, Naked and Afraid.
God, I hate that one.
I used to enjoy it, and then I started watching, like, Dude, You're Totally Screwed, and I was like, there is no way where if all you have is, like, a machete, and you guys are doing that great, and these are just, like, recreational survival experts or whatever, and you have, like, these, like, Green Berets and like Army Rangers and like primitive like experts who like teach classes and all this fucking like they're like they live this life, and they have trouble with this, and then you're surviving 21 days with a partner. I was like, I think not.
Yeah, I think some of that's probably preempted too.
Yeah, like I know, like, because there's one that had like 2 couples on there, and she actually got like sick. She got like some sort of disease where she like all her muscles like shut down and stuff. Like some of it is real because like they do go.
Oh yeah, no, I know,
like
I know.
I don't think like
I don't think it's all preempted, but I think like sometimes they just preempt some stuff. But like Naked and Afraid, it's like interesting idea. Like you could drop it in the middle of nowhere with nothing and survive. And it's like, yeah, okay, but would that really happen? Like in today's society, like.
You're not
have clothes?
You're not gonna have anything.
No clothes, like really, like.
But they give them a machete. Like that's what they get. They get a machete.
Yeah, I don't like that. And they give them tool bags. Like, well, then why didn't you just give them clothes? Like, it's just for the shock value, and I think that's why I don't like it. It's just like.
If anything, you just give them like, okay, Like you're having a regular meeting, and then you take them with what they're in. And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like the dude you told his crew, like they have what they have, and they give them a survival kit, which is like each one throws in something into the bag, usually like located like with the region. Like the guy who's in Africa, he got A1 steak sauce from one guy, because there's like the biggest apex predators are there, and it's like it's not for him, it's for the animals when they catch them and eat them.
Dump it on
one of them gave him a bag of bovine cow blood, because the natives of Atlanta they drink
they do
the cow's blood and stuff, and it's like
you can't survive off that.
You can. It has a high source of iron.
Yeah.
Another one gave him bamboo and feathers, but no bow.
You can make a bow though.
Yeah, well, they ended up he come back and taunting him, and because he wanted to he knew out of all of them, this is the guy who is going to fucking win no matter what. So he's trying to think of the ways to trick him into going there, because he was 4 ways to get to civilization.
Yeah.
And he sent him on the path that would take him the longest, 75 miles south to the nearest village, and then he goes right off the Kilimanjaro. So he takes this bow up to the top of this mountain or hill and puts it down there so he can see this riverbed, which is 10 miles down south. So then he goes down to the riverbed, and he's going to follow the riverbed, because it's a smart thing to do, is follow the riverbed. And if he goes that way, he's going to go so far off course, he won't make it to civilization in time, and he'll lose the game. And it's he still ended up winning, because this
Did he use the A1 bottle to make glass arrowheads?
No, he just sharpened the bamboo.
With the glass?
No, just stones. He just sharpened the arrowheads.
Did he do anything with the A1 bottle?
He drank it.
Well, I figured he drank it.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything with the bottle itself.
No, he don't really. I don't think he went through all the A1 yet, though. So because he only have 100 hours.
Well, yeah.
And
I'd say that's a good thing. If someone gave me an A1 bottle and they're like, haha, fucker, I probably would have made glass arrowheads with it. Fuck.
The problem was he's so challenge oriented. This guy was. He was you're gonna challenge me to do it. I'm gonna do it. He gave him the bow and arrows. You want me to hunt? I'll fucking hunt. So he went and killed a bird, and he had a it was some sort of hen thing, or some sort of ground chicken thing there, which is fucking I got a bird.
Yeah, it's good eating.
Yeah. He was he was glad he had it, because he was gonna move at night, which is stupid in Africa. Cause
I saw a clip of one where they gave him golf clubs, and he ended up making himself a hatchet or something. He melted down the golf club, and
one of the dudes you're totally screwed with.
Yeah. They gave him a golf club, and they're like, ha ha ha, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna take this fucking golf club. He made a fire. And he made a little forge, and he melted down the golf head, and I think he made a hatchet. And they're like, "What the fuck's?" They're watching on the camera, "What the fuck's he doing?" And they're like, "He's wasting way too much fucking time with this." And he's like, "Yeah, it may seem like I'm wasting time with this, but this will come in really handy going through this thing." And he made a hatchet, and they're like, everybody was like, "Wow, yeah,
fucking a genius.
That's pretty smart." He made a hatchet. I don't know what he's going to do with it now, but he's got a hatchet. But yeah, it's just, a lot of just thinking out. This common sense was, unfortunately, a lot of people don't have.
That, and even if you're a survival expert, and they'll say this and this too, when dehydration starts setting in,
you lose,
you will lose it, and they were saying that all the time, because the one guy got stuck on this island, 8 or 9 miles south of Florida. Whatever, and he was building this raft, and he had a very little amount of water supply, and he was he had this bag, and he took all these leaves and put them in the bag. He's if I wasn't so fucking dehydrated right now, I would have thought to do this 2 hours earlier, and then I'd be able to drink some water right now, because it's something you would just know to do, but he was just so thirsty and not focusing on what he needed to do.
Fortunately, there's a lot of disease and water beds and stuff like that. You have to boil it.
Yeah, which is very time consuming. It gets rid of a lot of the water you can actually have.
Can make a primitive filter though.
Which he did do before that. But he got more water from taking these leaves and just taking the leaves and putting them in this bag and sealing it shut and having the sun beat on it.
Yeah, distilling it.
Yeah, it was that's ingenious. He got 2 cups of water out of that.
You can do that on a boat too. If you get stranded out in the ocean, you have a bag. You can do that on the beach too, but what you do is you make a little cubby where the water is at, and then you make it like a little tent, and the sun will beat off of it, and then the water in the pot, the salt water will rise up and beat off to the side. You want to have a collection spot for that, but yeah, then that's drinkable water, the distilled part. Does that make any sense? You look confused.
Are you taking the salt water?
Take the salt water, and if you have like a trash bag or any kind of
Cause I know there's like one where you like, take a cup and you have like a bag or whatever, and you put
yep,
and like it goes into the cup, and it like
well, yeah,
pulls
you
out
can do
the
that
air.
too. I say like it's gonna run down, but yeah, you can have it run off the side, because if you pinch it up, it's gonna run off the sides. But if you have a way to collect it, I mean, that's what I said. You need a way to collect it. You have to have a way to collect the water after that. But yeah, same. Yeah, it's the same thing you're thinking of.
Okay. Yeah.
Fuck, I seen someone making a distillery once on Dual Survivor. That was fucking sweet. Cody Lundeen was awesome. He had some copper pipes and some copper tubes, and he made one, put the salt water in the one spot, and it had to go through the copper pipe, and he had like some towels that he wetted that cooled the water back down, and then it came down in a little collector, like a seashell, and it distilled it. Oh.
Yeah.
I think it's time to wrap up?
Yeah, we've been on for like 2.5 hours.
Alright, we'll wrap up. We can just make 2 podcasts out of it.
Probably good.
Alright, well, I think we're going to wrap up. Thanks for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Nasty or not, we probably will read it.
And then I'll feel bad about it.
Yeah, because we don't know what we're talking about. We're just a bunch of idiots.
We just ramble
Yeah.
from one topic to another
Next.
with no coherent thought.
What is a podcast but other than that?
Oh, it depends on if you have like a structure to your podcast. Or
We don't have no structures.
I know.
Anarchy.
Pretty much, yeah.
Alright, till next time. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.